Hi guys! Right now I'm delivering a paper at the National Melus Conference in Pittsburgh, but I'm truly bummed that I can't be there with you today to discuss John TAGG. Of all the scholarship of teaching and learning that I've been exposed to through our CTL seminars at LaGuardia, John TAGG's double loop learning has had the biggest impact on the way I work as a teacher and the way I solve problems in everyday life. I have a real double loop learning moment just about every day. Like recently, when I committed to eating unprocessed steel-cut oats each morning, but I was unable to cook this healthy breakfast without some major issues. You see, I tried following both the stovetop and the microwave instructions, but the oats always boiled over in the microwave, and the stove prep took way too long, and had to be stirred constantly to prevent oats from sticking to the bottom of the pot. Frustrating. I tried multitasking, adjusting water levels, but to no avail, until I finally thought, WWJTD. What would John TAGG do? I really do this periodically. I call it freeze tag, where I just freeze in a situation and stop to reflect how a problem might be solved by altering a governing value, like TAGG insists. Sure enough, once I look past the stovetop and the microwave as governing values, and Eve says you should never cook microwave food anyway, I finally discovered the perfect way to cook up my morning oats. The rice cooker. In the classroom, as in the kitchen, we can train ourselves to look past fixed values or ritual classifications like the academic calendar, the grading system, pedagogical practices, and the classroom itself. I know what you're thinking. I don't have the power to change our 12-week calendar, or the A through F grading system, or my department chair insists on standardized syllabi. Well, while we do have potential to influence curricular change through our service and participation in seminars like Connected Learning, you're right that we can't make immediate changes that alter things like the college calendar without having a lot of explaining to do to our supervisors. But don't despair. The way out, the loophole, if you will, is ePortfolio, which extends both the time and space of any classroom through digital dimensions. ePortfolios are created by students and naturally stimulate student-centered pedagogies. Using ePortfolio expands the view that we typically get of a student in our traditional classroom setting. Here on the left, she's just a face in a crowd, glancing at her notes and textbook, listening to a lecture, or trying to also participate in a discussion. Throughout the semester, we might catch fleeting fragments of what she's about, her ideas, goals, beliefs, aspirations, but we rarely get a whole portrait of who the student is really, or who any of them are, as we try to negotiate our focus and attention among 28 desks. On the right, the same student presents herself through ePortfolio. She's looking directly at us, presenting herself through her writing and organized ideas in a way that is much more thoughtful, measured, and comprehensive. We can reference her career goals or her achievements in one click. We can see the work she's done in other classes. This student has also created Spanish versions of her web pages, revealing a bilingual self. We are able to get a holistic picture of who this student is instead of the fragmentary portrait we often struggle to puzzle together in the classroom, which helps us to put her work into context, removing a lot of the guesswork and making us better teachers and advisors. The portfolio not only allows us to gain perspective on the student, but allows for stronger peer-to-peer perceptions as well. Here's a portfolio offering a draft of a thesis question for a potential research paper. Classmates visiting the portfolio have pasted comments and links to published digital resources they believe are potentially useful for the colleagues' research. This is a simple collaborative exercise done outside the classroom that can have real impact as students help each other build bibliographies to jumpstart their research. The ePortfolio is a way of furnishing evidence of real-world fieldwork that extends beyond traditional classroom walls. Here, students juxtapose archival photographs of the New York City street corners they located in our campus's LaGuardia Wagner archive with cell phone snapshots they actually took on the same street corners today. Their portfolios reveal their experiences as both researchers and observers of life in action, while also preparing the way for future investigators by updating the archive with new, meaningful visual information. The reflective essays posted on this student's portfolio contain hyperlinks to referenced resources, including an image of themselves out in the city on an independent field trip on which their writing is based. This is an example of a portfolio shared across 2 different classes and 2 different campuses. Students at one CUNY campus wrote original monologues to update a 1970 play, while LaGuardia students posted videos of themselves performing the other class's writing. While the 2 groups of students never actually met in person, their collaborative exchanges were richer than many of the traditional face-to-face classroom exercises. Student e-portfolios allow for a great amount of hypermedia, adding depth and dimension that is often missing from routine paper-based exercises. It can be a new way of conducting presentations when classes are not meeting face-to-face. In fact, it can prove a great advantage over live presentations because the speaker himself can also critique his own performance, make adjustments, and re-record and repost to chronicle how he's improving. It's also a convenient way for students to evaluate each other through online comments or linked survey sites or posted rubrics. Rather than being banned in the classroom, the ease of common handheld video and audio recording technologies can mobilize students as active investigators outside of class, enabling them to take real ownership of their work. ePortfolio's multimedia capabilities easily allow these projects to be shared for feedback and evaluated for self-reflection. ePortfolio is key to shifting our stagnant definitions of the curriculum as, quote, what teachers cover, to, quote, what students learn. We shift from our blackboard or whiteboard, which faculty traditionally create, to their creative and critical thinking space. By using ePortfolio to expand our teaching and learning horizons, students and faculty are released from fixed class periods, calendars, and environments in a way that promotes valuable lifelong learning. We now have a new, less constrained way of offering feedback and preparing our students for institutional and career transfer. And that, folks, is something I can sink my teeth into. And I have the sneaking suspicion that I'm not alone.